again. My name is Warren.
And my name is Ira Warren.
And together we are
As one.
Like I always say, and I'm always going to open up, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and there's also a reason to always be grateful for another day alive.
Yes. And I love when my husband opened up with that, because we have to be grateful, especially with all of the things that's going on now, in our country, right in our neighborhoods, right in our communities, if you will, however you want to put it. Our topic, however, this evening is we're going to be talking about divide and conquer. So we're going to get into some things, that's happening in the now, and some things that have already happened that has led us to this point that we're actually going through, at this very, very point in our lives right now. This video pretty much tonight is going to be how aware are we? I mean, you could just do subtitles underneath, divide and conquer. We just want everybody to just be aware of what's going on. Just because you hear it, you see it, you have to even protect yourself and your children, so they'll know what's going on and what's happening in our society right now.
Like she just said, don't walk around blindfolded. Don't walk around like with just tinted vision, like you don't want to see beyond your parameters.
Right.
It's a lot going on. It really is. If you sit down and just really think about it, like parts of the United States right now is in damn near civil war.
Yeah.
There's just so much going on. Look at what's going on in Chicago. Look at the uproar that's in North Carolina. They're rioting. Someone got shot in the crowd. Someone said that it was by a cop. Another person said that it was by an individual who was in the crowd. What else? We have another brother who's just walking down the street with his hands up due to the fact that his van broke down. And because of that, he's walking back. They said that the police was saying that they was telling him to stop. He didn't stop. I watched the video. It was no form of resisting arrest. He walks back to the van. He gets tased by one cop. The other cop, the female, she says that she was in fear for her life, so she shot him. Now, just as of this afternoon, they actually charged her with a degree of I think first degree misdemeanor, like assault or something. So she's actually being charged. But as of before this afternoon, she wasn't even being charged for nothing. They was actually paying her to stay home.
Right.
After she killed the individual, basically for no reason. And another thing, standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and stuff like that. People don't realize that when the Pledge of Allegiance, basically like a song or a salute to, those things, when they were written, we weren't even looked at as human beings. So why are you forcing us to stand up for something that wasn't even pertaining to us?
Right.
So that's just some of the topics. Another topic, for instance, we're going to talk a little bit about how prisons are being turned into the new schools. They're closing schools down and building prisons.
Right.
So building prisons has actually become a business. So.
Yeah, so you think about all these cliches that they have, no child left behind, and try to make it sound real good. But I was a substitute teacher last year, going into this year, probably for about 5 or 6 months. I was a substitute teacher, and I was asked to be in an ES class, emotional support class. What a lot of people didn't know is setting the children up for prison. You have to write all their behaviors. They're locked in this room all day. They have a bathroom. You tell them when to get up. You tell them when to sit down. And I felt so uncomfortable with that because it was set up just like a prison. And I was just like, my God, I was like, if people don't understand that their children are being set up, predominantly black male boys, they're setting the tone. They put it in their subliminal, we're preparing you to go upstate. We're preparing you to go behind, walls, in a dorm-like room with a whole bunch of men, and this is where you would be. So these young men, they weren't encouraged to know that they were kings. And I told them that every day: you're a king, you're a king, you're a king. And they said, Miss Ira, why are you so, so strict on us? And I said, you know what? I understand that, it takes a man to raise a man. And I said, but I can tell you some things. I have 8 boys, and now they're men, and I want them to, to be aware. I always heard when I was a child, my dad would tell my brothers, you got 3 strikes against you. You're black, you're male, and I don't know what the other one was, but he would say 3 strikes against you. Oh yeah, he's saying don't run. And I'm just like, don't run.
Probably because you're alive.
Yeah, and he would say, and never run. So I would always hear that when I was a child. And I just have this thing, in my spirit. It's like, catch me, I'm falling. Shake me from this slumber. Awake me so I can see what's going on. Marvin Gaye wrote a song, 1970? What's going on? 1978, 79? He said, what's going on? He said, our people are dying. Is if you listen to the song and the lyrics, he was like prophetically, speaking, hey, this is stuff that's going to happen after, whether I'm still here or gone. But Marvin Gaye, he left here 1984 due to his father killing him. But it's real. It's nothing new under the sun. It's nothing new under the sun. So everything that is happening now, it has been put into play a long time ago. A long time ago. So all this foolishness with Hillary and Trump, whoever gets in office, they meet somebody somewhere. They're meeting at this pyramid, and they talking about, okay, this is what we're going to do next. Obama was in office, and he's still in office. I say it was because he kind of faded out of the scene a little bit. You hardly ever hear from him anymore. And I'm not putting him down. And when people got all excited, oh, we got a black president. Don't y'all get it twisted. It was a black president already in play way before Obama came. So y'all just need to look at your history.
7 of them.
It's 7 of them. Let's just keep it real. And then I'm gonna tell you this: Abraham Lincoln, his grandmother was black, so he had 35% black in his blood. Look at his hair. Look how just everything about him. You could just look back in history. Some of our descendants probably came from there. Who knows? But that's why this is so important. That we talk about these things. My husband was quite disturbed. A couple of weeks ago, he sent me a video while I was at work with this pastor. I'll let him tell you about this whole situation with what's going on behind these quote unquote church walls. Because if you are a Christian, you know that we are the church. But I will let him tell you about this situation.
That's just one of many that I've seen recently. Yes. I actually wrote a post on Facebook. It was actually a video of the 10 top richest. That's the one you're referring to?
Yeah, that one. And then you sent me one on Thaddeus. That's where he was.
And then there was another one yesterday. So
Thaddeus Matthew.
It was one in regards to the 10 top, the top 10 richest preachers. That was one. And it's ridiculous because I was just sitting there thinking, okay, I'm a logical thinker. So I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, dude lives in a mansion, a bunch of them. One had a couple of airplanes. One had a bunch of mansions. And I'm sitting there saying to myself, where their churches, some of them, where their churches are located, they're actually located in the hood. So now these particular preachers, like I said, the top 10, a couple of them have Rolls Royces. One of them had like 3 private planes at his leisure. There was another one who they spoke to, and he was on another video, and he was one of them. They spoke to him, and he was trying to say as if he bought a home that we all know was for him. He was trying to say that he bought it for the church, but he actually lived there with his family. So he was kind of trying to say like it was a getaway, a vacation spot, and all that.
So it'd be a text right off.
Yeah, so they caught him up in his lie, and they was like, well, if it's a vacation spot, why do y'all live there? And that's just some of the things that is going on. The other brother, Thaddeus, his video is crazy. It was on Facebook. And it was on Facebook a while back, and I've seen it again recently. And he actually was cursing and disrespecting this preacher just straight out. At first, I thought it was somebody playing a prank until I actually looked and I saw who it was. You know, he was like, "You and your sissified friends, and um, you a punk," and you know, he was just saying all vulgar obscenities. He was just going on and on and on. But now, while I'm sitting back, I'm not religious at all, but while I'm more spiritual. But as I'm sitting back and I'm watching this, I'm like, hold up, this dude is a preacher. And I mean, he was going in on the dude. He
Yeah,
was
he
like, "You
was.
and your sissified friends, we gonna bring them to light. And if you like to take a it in your mouth, in your butt, you know, you should let your people know and all that." And I'm saying, okay, with all this being said and done in the video, what is the message that you're trying to convey?
Hmm.
Because a lot of people, it was a lot of hits on that video. What are you trying to convey? You know, what are you trying to say to your congregation? You know, because most people, when they're in a congregation, they actually look up to the preacher for a way to live, or a
Hmm.
person as an example of, you know, a way to
Yeah.
live, do things, how to carry out things. And he was going all in with all this language. So, you know, it just made me start to think more that some stuff is really out of whack nowadays. But let me go back a little. Babe, she was talking about children in the schools, and I just want to tie this in the prison. Why is it that they're closing all these schools down in the United States and they're building all these prisons?
Mm.
That's something. Just think about it. They won't even put new books in the school or put new computers in the school, but they'll shut the school down in order to build prisons. And these prisons, a lot of them are being set up for teenagers because they tend to know that they are some of the wildest ones and the ones that are going to get in trouble. So it's almost like they're marketing to society that the need for schools is devalued and we need place to hold black majority of the people that's going to be there as black young male in these particular concentration camps.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know when you go to jail and you're in prison, you're actually part of the free labor service. You know, you get paid whatever cents a day to do jobs that they can't find other people to do out in the world. You know, so this whole thing is a big corporate scam.
Yeah. It is.
You
It
know,
is.
this is being put together. It's a business. Building prisons is a business. It's a big billion dollar business. But every person that's in jail, they actually get $1,000 or something dollars, depending on the state, for you to be in there.
Hmm.
And they get private funding, and they
Yeah.
get grants. And the funny thing, they get all of these things like money, grants, and all that, and they're taking out. At one time, you could go to jail on the hopes of being rehabilitated.
Hmm.
It's really bullshit. Now they done pulled schools and everything out of the prison, so basically you're just being there to be held as an animal. You know,
Yeah.
caged in. You know,
Yeah. That's so true. Like I said, I'm going all the way back to when the Twin Towers in New York crashed to the ground. I mean, just look at everything in Louisiana. What the boot? You know, I say they really getting the boot. You know, with the
mm,
floods and stuff. I say you think about. I'm not trying to go biblical, but I guess I am.
mm,
You know, during the days of Noah, you know, it's just like a warning. You know, God was like, look, go and tell the people, get themselves together. They'll get themselves together. I'm gonna send a flood. You know, so it's like people in Louisiana. My heart goes out to them because they had to deal with the Katrina and then the Rita backdoor. Then they had another flood just recently where everything is underwater. I mean, we just need to pay attention to the catastrophes and things that's going on, you know, around us because everything is playing a part. Something is getting ready. Some things already happened, so we don't have to see into the future. Things that were told when grandma was around, baby, you got to be aware of the signs and the wonders.
mm,
Them signs and wonders is here. And a lot of people just walking to and fro and, you know, just trying to get that money and buy the big, you know, live the American dream and all of that stuff. And when in reality is not about that. And I want to go back to the schools, for instance. When these children are placed in emotional support classes, do you know your child is not their name? They're a number.
mm,
The first thing they would do when they would call, they said, Miss Jacobs, at the time that was my maiden name. They said, could you give me such and such number?
same
I
thing
said,
like
not
in
his
jail.
name. They say no. In the system, he's a number, and they have like this 9-digit number that they actually give the kids. So you're a number. So y'all have to understand that. Whether y'all believe in the Antichrist or whatever, I do. I believe that he is prepared. Everything is a number. Everything deals with numbers. Like I was talking to my husband about, this is no longer a country, but what I was saying is
a corporation.
Yeah, it's a corporation.
Social security number.
Yeah, everything is a corporation. Everybody is a number, and we're not even prepared, for what's to come. I was watching something. I was at work. I work late at night, and I was watching this YouTube video. They said in the United States, if something was to happen, like right now, just say in Philly, right here in Philadelphia, they said we don't even have a 2-day supply of food.
And we don't grow our own food.
Yeah, and we don't grow our own food. So if something happened, you're gonna have to go to somebody for some food if we can't go and buy and sell and do whatever it is that we need to do. So we're not prepared. So all this sugarcoating religion and whatever it is, it just is. I am boggled by it, and I'm just like frustrated because everything people say that they stand for, they're not standing for, because this has become a people's trinity. Me, myself, and I. It's about me. It's about what I want, and we're not seeing all the things that is going on around us. But I also want to say this. I really thank God for my husband. Hidden Colors, ISIS. He's giving me books and stuff to read, and I was just like, I was perishing for the lack of knowledge, because I ain't know nothing. I really did. We get so stuck on the roots, and we just act like that's the all in the end all. But it's so much material, out there that we don't know about us, and people don't know that blacks were the founder of this country. It wasn't Christopher Columbus. It wasn't him.
You can't discover a place when there's people already there.
Right. So it's so much that I have learned, and I don't know everything, but I'm no longer ignorant, to the ways of the world and the system, and different things that are to come. I could go all the way back to when my grandfather was a preacher, and when I was a little girl, and he used to say this, and I'm gonna read this off my book. He used to say stuff. He used to say this. He said, "We tolerate killing our unborn children, and we call it freedom of choice." That's the first thing that they say. Oh, if you raped by a man, or if you had a child by your father or your uncle or whoever, you could abort that child, and that gives you freedom of choice. And I understand. You didn't ask to be raped or whatever the case may be. But these are just some of the things that the world has put out there. It says we tolerate homosexuality and we call it diversity. Like my husband say, the homosexuality or the lesbian, gay community, that's what it is. They've made it another race. They've made it another race. And then my grandfather used to also say, he said, we tolerate paganism and we call it multiculturalism. So, we could just combine all religions and we'll just be one happy big family. And everybody, some things may be similar, but everything is not the same. What you may believe in and serve, I may not believe in and serve. They say, my grandfather used to always say, he said, we tolerate killing of elderly or the sick and we call it compassion. Y'all know how many elderly people are dying in these homes that they put their parents in or whatever the case may be, and they still receive checks. I overheard somebody last night at my job say, yeah, my mama, she been dead for 2 years, but we still getting a check. I'm like, dang, okay, all right. Alrighty then. And then the last one is we tolerate religious segregation and we call it denominationalism. We just combining everything. And the sad thing is we got 99.9 million churches on one street. And ain't nobody being saved and delivered. Don't nobody know nothing. So everybody is concerned about Pastor Hookah Booker and his wife getting a ring and a house and a car, when they have everything twisted within the religious sector, when we put money in those plates that goes around, that's benevolence. That's to help the people in the church. In my Bible, it says those who come to the church house that are sick, that is for the sick. That means if you're struggling with homosexuality, you struggling with pornography, whatever your sin may be. I'm not judging nobody because I struggle with some things myself. But that's what the church building is there for. The church is the people. The church is not a building. So, yeah, we're going to get into those. We're going to talk about those things. And, you know, we're not going to talk about love all the time, even though that should be the whole foundation of what everything should be on is love. But unfortunately, we got wickedness in the world. You know, we have they say, well, why does cop shoot so and so and so and so? You know, you got carnal minded people. Everybody is not spiritually sound.
That's true.
Everybody not spiritually sound. So how can you say, well, why this and why this and why that and why that? Because why we're in the last days, people. We are in the last days, and nobody wants to own up to the fact. You know, regardless, don't focus on the fact. Oh, the Bible says we're gonna be caught up in the sky. Only thing you need to do is have yourself together. So He is coming. I don't care what I think. We just need to be aware, and we need to open up our eyes, because yes, our people are dying. We have to talk to our children before they leave out of the home. And, you know, me and my husband, we constantly talking to our children about different things. And, you know, when your children are asking you questions, answer those questions as best as you can. And if you can't, give them some books. You know, my stepdaughter, Maya, every time we're together, these are the three things that she asks me about: religion, who she is as a woman, and school. Those are the things that's what's going on right now with children, because they want to know. So if they're intuitive and their ears are open, then get the pouring as much as you can so that they can grasp hold of that. You know, because right now, hell, Facebook is God. You know,
to some people,
to a lot of people. You know, the youth is on Facebook. I had a friend of mine's son, I won't call his name, that I practically helped raise. I was always keeping watch over him. He's on Facebook with his friend with a gun, a real gun, just flashing, talking about, y'all, so-and-so's gonna come around this way, you gonna get this and you gonna get that. And then I said, we already a statistic, you know, and then we already labeled, and then we already genocide, we already hurting each other. And yes, I am talking about the black community. I am. So I'm gonna let Babe say something, because I'm just like, this kind of stuff just give me. I'm not mad, but I just want to be heard, and y'all hearing me.
Look, it's gonna be a couple of parts to this video. This is just one of many in regards to this particular subject. But let me start to talk a little bit about. I'm gonna tap into what she was just saying about the guy that she helped raise with the gun. We're in a form of genocide mentally when it comes to our children. They don't have respect for each other.
No.
They don't see each other as brothers and sisters. They don't see that we have a common bond. They don't see that we're part of the same race and that we should help each other. The aspect that is being pushed, well, let me fall back a little. This is all systematically being done at the same time.
Yes, that's it.
You know, just keep this in mind. If there is a particular group of people that are higher ups and they're the minority, what do you think they will do to continue to stay in power? Like, sometimes I like to put stuff in question form, because then it makes people think on their own. What do you think that they'll do to stay in power? And they know they're the minority. There's more non-white people on the planet Earth than there is Caucasian. Do you know that? And no disrespect to white people, but I'm just speaking the truth. Do you know that the white people could be totally annihilated? Because we have the ability to create other than us. Caucasian people only have the ability to create themselves. So they could only have sex with another white person. They're going to create a Caucasian person. If we have sex with people of different nationalities or whatever, the black gene is still dominant. So it would wipe out the white gene. And I'm just saying that just to say that that's some of the things that we have to think about, because the United States is actually a corporation, like Babe said, and part of how we know it's a corporation because we are all identified by our social security number,
Mm-hmm.
and that's all logged in the system. We are part of the corporation, which is the United States of America. Genocide is being brought upon us as a race. Black males do not bring guns or drugs into this society. We don't make guns.
Mm-mm.
We don't even make the drugs that is being sold
And I
on
was
our
just getting ready
corners.
to say that. And I said them drugs and stuff. That's what they want to do, is just totally wipe out the black community altogether. I was watching something on Hidden Colors. I think it was 3,
Mm-hmm.
and Umar, that's his name.
Mm-hmm.
Umar. He was talking about, if you, he said they got it down to where they know how many black males are being killed a month and how many are being born. And he said they can almost figure
The exact
by the
day
exact
that
time the last
black
person,
person
yeah,
could be born.
was born, could be wiped out, like just
That we
gone.
could be wiped out.
Yes, we could be wiped out. And it just sent chills like now through my body. And I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to put this out there, today is my twin's birthday, and I want to say this, and like I said, I'm a mother of 7. I had 7 children of my own. I'm saying all of this because God has blessed me with 5 grandboys as well, and I have a son in the prison system. 15 years, 15 years, and the crazy thing is, he went in. It was on robbery. He wasn't found with the gun, but he was an accessory, to what was going on with him and his friend. But he was on probation. They gave him 10 years. He went back. But when he went back, they said, look, you gonna do 15 years. And I'm just like, wow. And I'm just bawling. I'm just crying. And now this is a child that has never been in trouble before. And you see the difference. Now, a couple of days ago, it was the same situation with a Caucasian boy, 17, same age as my son, when he did what he did. He gets 6 months probation for the same thing. Same thing. Same thing. And then that's why that word "just us." It's just us, all right. It's just us. So I don't know. This one is a little emotional for me, babe.
Look, it's a whole different set of rules when you start talking about when a white person gets locked up or held and a black person gets held. Look, it was an incident that happened not too long ago that this guy got arrested, and he was a white guy. Do you know they actually took him to like Wendy's or something to get lunch before they took him to the jail? Go look it up. I'm not lying. It was another gentleman. This was actually on the news. He had a gun in his hand. He was on the grass and all that. They waited around for hours because he was Caucasian. Nothing against Caucasian people. I have some Caucasian people that are cool with me. I'm just speaking the fact. This dude was on the grass and all that. They ended up shooting the gun out of his hand hours later. Hours later. And then after that, they locked him up. And he went away with them alive. Look at what's going on in our country. Look at Chicago. And I just want to touch on I'm going to hit a couple of quick facts real quick. Look at what's going on in Chicago. Our president is from Chicago. They said there's like 3,000 people done got shot and all that, or a lot of people have gotten shot. It's like breaking records for the murder rate. The state where the president is from, and I know some people are not going to like that. The state from where Obama is from. So he actually has knowledge of the streets, the bad areas, where things are probably at a higher rate, the drug use, the drug abuse, and all that. He probably knows all this. But why isn't there anything being done? And I'm not blaming Obama because it takes more than Obama. It takes the village. It takes the people. Because they could put cops in there, officers or overseers. They could put them in there and they may handle stuff on the good ones. But when they leave, it's going to fall back upon the people. And I'm not blaming the people either. Some stuff is just way out of hand, so it's too much to control. One other thing I want to also tap on, the Pledge of Allegiance and standing up for the flag and all that. We don't have to do that. I don't know what has gotten in these people's minds, especially the Caucasian people and some people, minorities, whatever. They have this thing in their mind that it's mandatory for us to do. It's not. We have freedom of speech. We have freedom of choice. We're not breaking a law by not standing up to a flag. You don't have to pledge allegiance to anybody. You pledge allegiance to yourself and God. You don't have to pledge allegiance to a particular thing other than that. You know, the infeminization of the black man. Look around. I ain't going to shoot no shots at nobody, but look at some of these TV shows. Look at the characteristics of how these boys are coming up. Some of the rappers are coming up nowadays. You know, it's cool for kind of like a dude to be dressed as a woman, wear dresses and female dashikis. I'm not talking about the male ones, female dashikis. Um, or I even saw a couple of rappers with female pocketbooks. You know, another thing, black cops. It's bad enough that we already have to deal with other cops coming in our neighborhoods from other denominations. Now you have this preconceived notion that when you look at your own brother, just because he's dressed a particular way, he's your enemy. Why is that? You know, why is that? There's never going to be no justice or peace if we can't find peace within ourselves. Then when we find peace within ourselves, we plan it out into the community so that it can spread. You know, like I said, this is just video one. We're going to have another video, maybe a couple of videos just based on particular topics. And anything else you want to say, babe?
Yeah, like I said, we'll probably do a not probably, we will do a part 2 to this next week, because it's something that needs to be a continuation anyway, and we need to continue to talk about it. Will we make some leeway with it? I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so.
But anyway, this is our end, so we'll see y'all next time.
Next time, and as we always close out, peace.